You take away money from people, it costs more to spend or to invest. What do you expect to happen? People spend less. The point is that, is it an appropriate solution to a problem?
But if you're to solve the core problem of supply side, what would you do?
I would address the problems. The pandemic, of course, is over, but the changes in shipping arrangements are not over. The sanctions have basically been very disruptive. And then you have policies such as, what was it called? Reshoring.
Yeah.
These are all supply side disruptions. We in Southeast Asia, our number one trading partner is China. What are you going to tell us to do? To stop buying things from China? To refuse to trade with China? The number two trading partner of all of Latin America is China. The number one trading partner of most countries in Africa is also China. The number one trading partner of India is China. This new anti-globalization thing is really about China. So the question is whether you want to have a series of closed economies. All those people who used to be globalizers, what has happened to them? The fact you can bring down the temperature of a sick person by putting the person in ice water. But is that going to solve the source of the fever?
Yeah. So does that mean if there's a systemic issue with protectionism and closing down free trade, are we in for an era of forever rising inflation all over the world? If you're based in the US and you want a piece of cloth, but now Trump is putting tariffs on stuff coming from China and you're producing it locally, which costs 2x, 3x now, it will eventually be passed down to the consumers like you and me, right? And if every country starts doing this, I wonder if we're just should have that baseline expectation that everything is going to be much more expensive now.
Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, she was as anti-China as you could be 6 months ago. When she was re-elected for her second term, she was basically talking about new North Atlantic Alliance, blah, blah, blah. Look at the new rhetoric, which is slowly changing. It's not going to change overnight. Many things are going to take a lot of time. It's not even very clear what's happening. But you can see also, Mr. Trump is half the time, one doesn't know whether he's saying things for effect, or is he using it as a bargaining chip. That's why I hesitate to say what is U.S. policy. It's so tempting to jump on one or two things and presume that's policy for the next 4 years.
There is this quote that take Trump seriously, but not literally, because he says a lot of things, but doesn't end up doing it.
I'm very worried. If you look at Dr. Kristalina Georgieva, the managing director of the IMF, the IMF comes out with things every day, but she is warning that the world is going to remain in stagnation, not inflation. I don't think inflation is going to be the biggest problem. We are going to have stagnation unless we find growth. China is growing at 5+%. So Biden, Trump have all succeeded in slowing down China. But they did it by slowing down the rest of us too, including themselves. You remember in the old days, China was growing at 8%, and they said, no, we have to do something about it. So China announced that they are now growing at about 5%. So you have succeeded in slowing down China. But at what expense? It's not just us in the developing world who are worried. And Malaysia is relatively well off. I've just come back from Africa recently. Many countries are in bad shape. Latin America, there's no growth prospects on the horizon. Okay, I'm not sure about the Middle East and so on, but people are very worried because nobody knows where growth is. And the head of the IMF is saying the same thing. We have a situation where we are creating the conditions for the world slowing down. And that is very worrying.